Today's guest on Poetry from Daily Life is Scot Young, who grew up in Raytown, Missouri before settling in Ozark County. He has been writing since junior and high school days. Scot says he typically writes snapshots of his life or what he has observed. He thinks that poets write for themselves and hopes that others might relate or see themselves in a different way. Two of his favorite books to work on are All Around Cowboy and They Said I Wasn't College Material. A unique fact about Scot is that he earned 3 college degrees after he was told he wasn't college material.
I retired from education a year ago as a superintendent. Like every other superintendent, I climbed the ladder. But unlike most, I remained a teacher by offering my children a poetry class for the last 25 years. My last class ended last year. In education, we tend to dictate what they should be thinking, how to teach to color inside the lines, that the color of the sun is yellow, and that all the little desks must be in a row. Too many in education at all levels believe that. I did not. I taught poetry in the conference room as it was more comfortable. We would start the creative writing journey, learning figurative language and formula poems where you would fill in the blanks with the parts of speech. We dabbled in haiku, counting syllables on our fingers. These were okay for the beginning, but for the most part were boring to students. One day, one of the older students said, "For a poetry class, you sure have a lot of rules." And he was right. From that moment on, they set out to tell their own story by writing several poems a day. Some days we hit the walking trail looking for inspiration not found in the classroom, but most days we wrote our poems. They told their own story of trauma, of abuse, of struggles. We self-published with colored chalk on the school driveway, on the sidewalks, and on the schoolhouse walls. In a short period of time, these high school students were published in 2 Missouri high school anthologies, appeared on the cover of one, and their poems of daily life were featured in a California poetry journal. The class ended with a Zoom reading with invited poets from around the world. There were no egos, a lot of finger snapping, some relief that it was over, and a few tears, mainly from the adults. Exploring ourselves in the world of others without judgment, in this case, through poetry, without ever coloring inside the lines, is what education and poetry should be. Poetry 101. I taught a poetry class to your abused, broken, and neglected children and started to give them metaphors, similes, and personification, but they knew figurative language well enough, tried to wear the face of normal, wanting to be like other kids, tried to hide the scars with just ink tattoos and too much mascara. They read their poems of incest, of rape, of beatings, of parents in prison, of foster homes, of being hooked on meth made down a dead-end county road, of how life is not supposed to be at age 15. They learned that giving human characteristics to inanimate objects sometimes lessened the pain. But I changed my lesson plan when one of them said, "Hey, teach, what is good poetry?" I suppose it is keeping your wounds close to the surface so they can heal quicker. Is that it? On most days it is.